everybody, coming at you from out in the wilderness. We have behind the camera,
Heyo.
we have good old Nick. Today, we have a very important subject. People that know me and watch my channel know that I don't like these Altoid survival tins. I don't, because they don't address all your needs. They're small. You can't get everything in here. And the biggest things is, the late great Morris Kohansky always said that your survival kit should address two needs. And if it doesn't, you're barking up the wrong tree. Those were his exact words. But they should make sure that you stay hydrated. They got to meet your water needs. And a survival kit should make sure that you get enough sleep. Now, in the fall and the spring, you could just go somewhere and find a place to sleep. But in the summer, you're going to get ate up by bugs and insects and things. And in the winter, you need insulation because it's going to get cold, and it doesn't provide that. Now, the water needs, these are terrible for water needs. And I'm going to go over that later with some other options and ideas towards the end of the video about cups, canteens, and pots.
Can't keep iodine tablets in it?
Yes. See, you're already thinking ahead. You could keep some iodine tablets in here or some water purification tablets or water purification drops, but when they run out, they run out. Now, the whole idea behind this, see, this bag here has nothing to do with this, but it's stuff I'm going to show later. And same thing with this pouch here. But you can put plastic bags in here in these kits, and you can use your water purification drops or tablets. But like I said, when they run out, they run out. But I was discussing in an email with the guy about, he said put aluminum foil in here. But I'm going to go ahead and stress this again so you remember it, and I'll say it again. Never, ever, ever, ever put regular aluminum foil in here. Never. Because it'll fail. Use the extra heavy duty stuff. Alright, so we just got your typical survival kit with all this stuff in here. Some matches and, you know, all these doodads and little twist ties and cotton balls. So we're going to close this back up. Now the regular aluminium foil, the corners, when you fold them, the corners break and they don't hold up to the heat as well. But anyway, I replied back and I said, I've never had any luck with making a fireproof pot that you can boil water in or heat water up with aluminum foil. And he said, well, try the heavy duty stuff. And he said, the way he explained it to me, and we're gonna experiment on video and see if it works, but it's called the double fork stick method. And so we're going to try it. So anyway, we got a piece of aluminum foil here, and you got to be real careful when you unfold it to make sure that none of the corners have broke. And then instead of sandwich bags, you want real tall bags for the water. And
what you got there?
These are trick-or-treat bags, but they're real tall. So I mean, any kind of treat bags, you know. And these were left over from Halloween, so we're going to use these.
Well, dang! I thought this was March. Oh.
It is March.
Oh, what's so cold? Is Halloween around the corner?
These are laying around the house. But anyway, we've got the aluminum foil here. And now, to save the video from failure, we're going to use this. We're going to attempt to use this. But to save it from failure, I have another piece of aluminum foil, the same size, heavy duty, but it's been rolled up. It's not been folded. So if the corners leak everywhere it's folded, we're still going to try to boil water. But that's still going to indicate a failure because this came out of the survival kit. Alright, so let's go. Let's set up the fork sticks with the aluminum foil, and then we're going to go get some water, and then we're going to start a fire and see what it does. Now, when you carry an Altoids 10 survival kit, I'm also going to talk about some of the origins of that. I would hope you've also got a knife with you. Now keep in mind, if you have this, you're not going to have an axe or a saw or a machete. So large wood processing is out of the question. So, all right, let's set up a fork stick. We went ahead and found one. I'm going to set it up the way it's supposed to be. Either we're going to put the aluminum foil in the way it should be. All right, sound good, Nick?
Yep, sounds good, as long as you don't try to start the fire with the aluminum foil.
Oh no, we're not going to do that.
That's next video. No, I'm just kidding. We're not that crazy.
No, we're not. All right, well, let's get this show on the road. All right, so hence the name dual fork stick. You want a small fork stick and a large fork stick. All right, with a pretty substantial end on it. So what we're going to do, let's see, let's set this right here, and then we're going to stab this in the ground. Now hopefully you'll find this stuff. Now this thing ain't ideal because it's kind of bent. But what I think I'm going to do, see that thing falls. I think that'll work like that if I put a big heavy rock on the other end. Alright, so let's see how that does. I think that'll work. Alright, so the next thing is we want to clear up that little spot. It's been raining a lot lately. So once I get rid of these leaves and this underbrush, we're down to mud.
Yeah, and he means a lot of rain.
Yes, a lot of rain. Alright, so let's take this aluminum foil. How are we going to do this? Let's set this in here like this. And let's fold it over. And let's fold it over and make a, that's what he says, make a trough. Alright, and then fold one end up, just like that. Now the idea behind this is we're not going to boil a lot of water because the aluminum foil can't handle it. We're going to put in a small layer so that it'll boil quickly. Now as far as getting the water out of here, I guess once it's boiled, you can lift it up and drink out of it. Or if you want to put a little straw in your kit, maybe you can just drink straight out of this after it cools. So let's get this stuff ready.
Or if you have a canteen or something with you, you can probably just lower the lip on the low end and just let it drain into it.
Yeah, if you have a canteen. But the idea behind this whole video is for people that carry nothing but this in their pocket. Which, you gotta
That's their
agree.
problem.
It's like Moore's always said, I don't care if you don't believe me, I'm not the one that suffers. But yeah, there's some people that they carry nothing but this, and they say, and there's a bunch of YouTube videos that have popularized this, and people showing these things with all these little doodads in them and saying, oh, this is my mini survival kit. I'll just put it in my pocket and I'm good to go. But none of them ever go out and camp with it or show how it meets all of your needs. John Lofty Wiseman is the one that brought this to the mainstream attention. But the idea was it was for fully trained SAS pilots to carry this on their person, in their body. That way if a plane crashed and they lived, or if they had to jump out with a parachute, they at least had something. And so, I mean, it's a better than nothing situation, but the problem is the mainstream public took the idea and ran with it and was like, oh, this is a complete survival kit. And it's not. And that's why I hate these, because they've been taken out of context.
Would you say having multiple of them would help in any way?
Oh, yeah, multiple. Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Will they satisfy all one's needs out here, though?
No, I don't think they do. I do not think they do. All right, so let's run over to the creek real quick and fill up our bags that we lost.
Yay.
Yay. All right.
Filled the full. This has been ASMR with Fun in the Woods, where we stare at this creek for 10 minutes straight.
It is relaxing. Unless you're out here trying to survive and you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
Now, before you get the water in the bag, what you want to do is you want to go back to your little survival tin, and let's pull out some of these little twist ties. If I can get them out without dumping all the contents out. Alright, so.
Maybe you shouldn't open it over a creek.
Some more
I think that's...
Some more sage advice from Nick. Now, when you're getting this water from a creek, as it overflows, of course you want to get it off the top where it's nice and clear, but wherever it's coming down, you don't want to catch it right as it's coming down, you want to catch it where it lands. See all these bubbles? This is oxygenated water now, and if you've got tablets or drops, they will help purify the water better if there's oxygen in the water. Which, see these bubbles here? And so we're going to fill this up right here where these bubbles are. Right there. And see, the bag is clear because I can see through there and see that there's not much stuff in there. I didn't get any sediment. Alright, now that's a lot of water right there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to carry this back. It's actually too much water. Let's pour a little bit out. Well, actually, I'll just carry it right over there. And then we're going to pour some water in and put the twist tie on it to save the other. But like I said, at this point, you could use the drops or the tablets and you would have water. But the problem with that is once you run out of tablets, you're out. So let's see if we can get this to boil. Pour a little bit of water in here. Now I think I'm going to push this down a little bit, get some of that water to come this way. Try to curl this up a little bit more to lift it up a little bit. Now like I said, I'm going to say it again, this is the second time I've said it, don't use regular aluminum foil, you have to use the heavy duty stuff.
I don't think that's a little water.
I can't tell the height of it. Alright, but we don't have any leaking out, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So now what we're going to do, and you want to put the little twist ties in there too, because what if you're a long way from the water, which you shouldn't be. You should be pretty close to the water. Alright, I don't see no leaks. Alright, so I've got this here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over here and set it down. Let's put this old rotten log right here. Let's get a couple of leaves. Let's lay these leaves down so that we don't poke a hole in our bag, because we may need our bag. Well, look, it's falling down, so let's do this. That's falling over. Okay, there we go. I got nice smooth old logs here, and it's sitting on leaves, so that should protect our bag. And we had 2 bags, we have another bag, so. Alright, we don't have any leaks in here. Let me grab this thing here real quick. These are some props that I'm going to talk about that have nothing to do with the survival kit. But what we are going to do, now I don't know if this is going to show up or not.
I don't know either. I can't see her with the sun glare. I don't know where I'm pointing.
I brought a temperature gauge right here. You can't see because of the glare?
Sorta.
Dang. Well, anyway, let's get back to this. Let's get this fire started. Now, can you see all this over here? This is all the wood that I picked up. So you can find, I haven't even used my knife. Sometimes you can get by, but this small stuff doesn't last very long. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back out our survival kit, because we're going to try to use what's in it. Let's take one of these cotton balls here and fluff up one end. If you fluff the whole thing up, it'll burn up fast. But if you just fluff up one end, maybe it'll sustain itself a little bit longer. Alright, now let's get out a match. Because you have to put a mini lighter in there. I don't think a full-size lighter will fit in there. Alright, so we got that going. So,
You don't think you could find a ferro rod that would fit in there?
yeah, they have ferro rods, but they're very, very, very tiny. And they really don't work that good. The little tiny ones,
Well, if your matches get wet.
well, if the matches get wet, you're in bad trouble. Now we're trying to see what that cotton ball does. Now, a lot of people like the Vaseline cotton balls, but the problem with the Vaseline cotton balls in a survival tin is they wind up getting everything else all messy and sticky in there. And all this wood, I didn't pick any of this wood up off the ground. This was wood that was like leaned against trees. Now this fire may be too far forward, but right now we're just concerned about getting it going. Now the more water you have in here, the more heat and the more fire it takes to get it going. We don't want that because we don't know what this aluminum foil can handle.
Can't even see the water. Definitely not on the camera, I assume, but you can't even see the water in the aluminum foil until you bump it.
Yeah. So I could touch it. And you might could bend this container a little bit more to where it could hold more. Now with this, you don't use a normal fire. You're using a teepee style fire because the flames, not just the heat, the flames are what's going to be doing the work. Now this may if it gets out of control, you just take a log and you knock the fire over if it overwhelms your foil. Alright, so let's see what this does. Now, I've done pretty good so far with not having to use a knife or a machete. I may have to stab this thing in the ground a little bit more to get it lower down. Of course, it's not a good idea to now, because I may wind up dumping my water. Got one more stick here. Alright, let's go with this. Alright, now let me get that thing. Let's see. These digital thermometers don't show up on. Alright, the air temperature is 58 degrees Fahrenheit.
Sure doesn't feel like it.
No. The water's 52 degrees because it came out of the creek. Alright, so we're going to get that going and see what it does.
Hey, where'd you find the thermometer out in the woods here?
I didn't. I told you it was a part of the props. Now see, the wind is blowing. Now there's not much of a way of making. There's really not much of a way of making.
Well, it's getting that fire going.
This thing adjustable. Yeah, it's getting going good. I guess you could pile rocks all around it if you had to. I got the flames right kind of where they should be. Yeah, look at that. The wind's blowing the flames that way.
It's making the fire start roaring.
Yeah, it is. Adding all that extra wind to it. I guess the only thing I could do is kind of stand in front of it and try to block the, yeah, now it's starting. The wind's dropped down some. We're gonna let that run for a minute. I'm gonna show some of the props while we're letting that go. Got 2 big pieces on it. Oh, look, it just fell over.
So maybe when you're clearing a space of leaves, you might want to give a little extra for if your fire falls over, or like you said, if you have to knock it over.
Yeah, that ain't good. Well, like I said, this was explained to me by email. Look, I'm trying to sit in front of it now to block the wind. This was explained to me in an email, so I'm just testing. And
I think that's falling.
what is?
I think the one stick might be falling.
Oh man, the wind's really kicking it now. Look at that. Good grief. I hate to even touch this. I mean, I could. If the flames were coming straight up, that would be one thing. Let's see if it's doing anything to the water.
I don't know, the wind's keeping it. It's not.
It's 57 degrees.
It's not reaching it because the wind keeps blowing it to the side.
I know, that's a bummer.
Yeah, you might could gently angle it.
I don't know. I'd hate
It's
to
over
dump
there.
it. I'd hate to dump it. Because you know, this stick's not straight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me try. Let me see what I can do here. Maybe this is part of the trick.
What, just holding it over it?
Yeah,
I mean, you could.
as long as you don't dump it. Let's pull these over a little bit. Can you see that water sloshing around?
Yeah. Well, I can. I don't know if it's on the. I'm just gonna zoom. Oh no, you can see it on camera.
I haven't dumped any yet, and the foil hasn't failed yet.
Your stick's burning.
Yeah, it is. Oh, look, some's leaking out. I lifted it up too high. Stick it in there and see what you think. Without poking a hole in the bottom.
98.6.
Really? All right.
See, is this visible? No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. Last time we tried that on camera, it didn't work. Oh, did you hear that? I heard some sizzling. Look at that. Now it's leaking.
It's coming out the back. This is what we're doing here. Just holding over it. Heard some sizzling a couple seconds ago. Well, last I checked, it was 139. Oh, 164.
Really?
Okay.
All right. Now see, they say that pasteurization happens at 160, but I think you got to hold that 160 for, I think, an hour. But you know, I guess maybe if you could get it to where you got it this warm, and then you could lift it up and set it back on the stick, or cut the stick off and make it shorter. I like the idea of this being adjustable though, where I can just sit here and hold it over the fire.
172.
All right, if we can get it to 212, we're good to go without the aluminum foil failing. Do you see any indications of failure?
No, I'm guessing it's probably a lot hotter on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Look at that. Hey, did you see it? I think that's steam coming off the water. It is. Nick, get up there and lean that camera over so that they can look inside it.
Let's see. Close can we get?
Look, do you see the steam rolling off of it? And it looks like there's bubbles in the bottom.
I don't think any of this is visible on camera.
Oh, it ain't?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
no, you can see the steam.
okay, you got a glare. You always got a glare on the viewfinder, but during editing it may look a little different.
Gently bump it a little bit so the water will slosh. There you go, you can see the water.
Alright.
Except piece of leaf that flew in there as well.
Oh, that'll happen. Alright, now back the camera up a little bit and grab that thermometer and see what we got going on temperature wise.
There's 63.
163, it's not getting much hotter.
No.
Alright, let's find some more wood.
We'll be out.
What happened?
The fire's kind of dead.
Yeah, the fire's kind of dying down. This stick is not good either. Now there's some heat still coming up right here where my hand is, so you know maybe that'll Maybe that'll keep it going while I go gather up a little bit more wood. All right, cut that off. Let's throw some more wood on there and see what it'll do. But 160, I mean, if you could hold that for, you know, y'all Google that and see what pasteurization should be at what temperature. All right, I'm gonna throw some more wood on there, then we're gonna talk about some other options. All right, we got the fire going right there. Real quick, like I want to go over a few options here that I brought. As far as a survival tin goes, there's better options because there's things that are a lot bigger.
Like,
now, if you have to,
everything better.
Yeah, this is about 4 times as big, and it's got molly straps, so you could just strap it to your belt. You could carry an ammo pouch because it's got molly straps.
Fire was almost touching you.
That ain't good. But I'm trying to go over some of these things. This
How
is a
to
little hidden woodsman pouch.
Hey, how to extinguish yourself with fun in the woods.
This has little loops on it. That's about 3 times as big as an Altoids tin. You can hang it off a carabiner off your belt. This is a cell phone pouch. It's 2 to 3 times as big as the capacity of the Altoids tin. And you've got, look at that. And you've got these molly strips. Oh, I better lift it up.
Your stick's turning black.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Well, the wind blew it that way.
Well, that's an opportunity to get your hand in there and see what temperature it is, because I heard it sizzling again. I think I see a little condensation coming off the bottom of it over there.
Yeah. I guess drag that camera around to the front and see if you see any bubbles. Now this stick ain't gonna last very long. Yeah, the wind's blowing that fire around pretty bad.
See the thermometer.
Fire actually needs to move over some. The foil hadn't failed yet.
No.
Let's see here. 156. Going down here. See what this does.
Probably lost all its heat when the fire died.
Yeah, probably did. That's a good thing about the foil is it's just thin enough that I think it could absorb all that heat again if it doesn't fail. Look, we got some leaves on fire I got to stomp out because of the wind. Go stomp that out, Nick. Yeah, okay. I thought it had cleared out enough. 167.
The wind had that going pretty far over.
Yeah, it did. And so that's another thing, is you can't choose the day that you're in a survival situation. You know what I mean? What if it is a windy day? Do you really want to do this? Do you want to have to do this? There's some steam pouring off. Whew! I can't even put my hand in it. All right, 170. We would love to get it to 212 without the foil failing. I mean, even if it just hits 212, it's drinkable. And if you felt so inclined, if you could boil enough water, you could throw green pine needles in there and have pine needle tea to give you some vitamin C. But we're not going to do that.
It's weird in the spot we're sitting in, there's no pine trees, but then just right over there, they're all pine trees.
I know. They're all in like batches. You hear it?
Yeah.
It ain't failed yet. We're going to see what this foil can take. See, if you had a saw, you could saw larger pieces of wood. Fire'd last longer. All right, let's lift this up. What we got? Oh, 196, Nick.
You need more wood than that?
I think if this did, I don't know. Yeah, cut the camera off and go grab some wood and throw it on. All right, we got more flames. We got a little more wood on there. Got a lot more heat. This stick ain't lasting. But the forest is full of forked sticks. You can always find another one. It's that full that you want to preserve.
I think the wind's making everything burn too fast.
Maybe. $160. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. And see, if you built a giant, huge, roaring fire, I'm sure it would take it to 212. But would a fire that big make the foil fail, or the stick fail? That's what we're trying to see, how feasible this is.
I'm gonna say that sound is it boiling.
It's wanting to. I would like to see it bubble in there. See what it says. 190. I think that's about as hard as we could get it. Are we there, Nick?
I see a lot of movement in there. I mean, it looks like it's boiling.
Here, come here and grab this. See what you think, because I don't want to move. I'm holding it directly over the fire.
Oh yeah, there's definitely bubbles. 216.
Oh, we did it. We did it, Nick. If you hit 212.
It's 216.
All right, so let's pull this up.
I think there was over twice as much in there before.
Yeah, now we got like a couple of drinks of water.
Wrong way.
Wonderful. But did you catch the bubbling on camera?
Yeah, it was zoomed in on it where it was holding.
Okay,
Or
cool.
hopefully you had it steady in that spot.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I didn't move it. All righty.
As fast as it can heat up.
Yeah, pretty much. Without ruining it.
Cool down.
The foil held up. That's that. This method actually works. Not good, and it's a lot of work. And so, once again, I asked you people, you folks out there, you kind viewers, if you love these Altoid survival tins, you can carry a plastic bag, put the water tablets in, or the drops, or you can try to boil water this way. Now, yeah, it can be done, but do you want to? If it's a real survival situation, do you really want to? Now, other than these things, once again, I like to go over these other options. Any of these, this is a cell phone pouch, and I'm not sure what this pouch is, but all of these are they have 3 to 4 times the capacity of these. And with the molly loops, there's nothing to them. You can just attach them to the small of your back on the back of your belt, and you'll never know they're there. You got your ammo pouch. It's got molly loops on it. Carry it on your belt. Hidden Woodsman makes a little pouch. You can put a carabiner on there, hang it off your shelf. I mean your belt loop. You could carry a pilot's flask. It's a way of carrying water, but you'd have to have the water tablets in it. It fits in your cargo pocket. You could carry a small clean canteen like this, have a carabiner on it, hang it off your belt. But they do make pouches for these with a strap. But if you're going to carry one with a strap, they make these things that they sell. They're Molly water bottle carriers. They sell those on Amazon. I love these things because you put a giant water bottle in there, especially for like a desert type environment. This thing right here is great, and it's a metal container, so you can boil water if you have to. This is the bigger ones are made by Orca, and they'll hold a 2-liter bottle. The smaller ones are Condor that holds that. And then you can put your survival kit in there, and then you've got a strap where you can carry it over your shoulder. Now, another thing to do is, if you don't like the military type stuff, Stanley makes a neat little thing. What this is it's a bottle that you can pour water out, or you can screw that on, and you can unscrew this, and it's a cup. So you could boil water in here, pour it in here, let it cool, boil more water, and then drink it. And then when you get ready to go, you just screw it together, put a carabiner on it. Now something like that, you could put a survival kit inside, carry it on your belt, and then when you find out you're in a survival situation, take the contents out, put them in your pocket, then use this as your water source. The other thing you can do, at the bare minimum, carry a cup. Make sure it's not double wall. If it's double wall, it'll explode when you put it over the fire. Carry a single cup on the carabiner. There's no excuse not to. Now if you want to, this is a tiny stainless steel cup. This thing right here, you could boil water in this thing for months and it would last. This would wear out quicker. But the other thing you could do is if you're in bear territory, carry 2 of them. When you're walking down the trail, you're not going to sneak up on a bear. A bear will hear that and leave the area, because bears don't want nothing to do with you. Bears want to be away from you. So you don't want to walk right up on one and scare them. Morris Kohansky loves the idea of taking a pot and putting your survival kit in it. That way, this thing holds a lot more water than that, and that way we boiled away a lot of the water. But if you put the lid on there, you're trapping in the heat, you're trapping in the steam, you're not losing as much water. But just put a kit in there, and you can hang it off a strap around your shoulder, or you can hang it off a carabiner off of your belt. The good old mainstay is these canteen, cup and canteens. Carry water in here, boil water in here. Can't beat that. That's a survivalist mainstay. The pouch for it, they make Molly pouches, but this is an old Alice pouch. It's got the Alice clips, and then they've got a little pocket on there for water purification tablets. If you can find them, this is kind of rare. This might be French military, but look how small that is. That's a tiny little canteen and cup. And see, that thing right there, you could borderline carry that in a cargo pouch of your pocket. You might could put that together with a survival tin, but I mean, at bare minimum, I feel like you could take, if you had this, you could take this and a kit about this size, and this would actually be pretty easy surviving, and that's pretty minimalist. Of course, it depends on what time of year it is, because in the summertime you're going to get ate up by bugs, gnats, and mosquitoes and insects, and in the winter you need some kind of insulation. In the winter, if it's dry, you can use garbage bags and leaves, but in the winter, if it's wet and cold, that's terrible, because everything's wet, the natural insulation won't be of any use to you. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Those are the options. If you want to carry an Altoid survival tin, and if you want to bet your life on it, get out and camp with it or experiment with it, and don't do it in good weather, do it in bad weather. So, but that's pretty much it. Anything you want to add, Nick?
Well, if you could always see using the Altoid survival kits as a way of challenging yourself out in the woods. Just see what's the bare minimum you can actually go out with and spend the night with. Just build down to it. Just train your skills. See what you can slowly do without in the woods.
Yeah, see if you can do it. And it's like when John Lofty Wiseman was talking about these, he was talking about fully trained SAS pilots. Most of us aren't, but like Nick said, yeah, if you want to try to challenge yourself with these things, me, I'm too old and lazy, and I don't like to suffer. But anyway, thanks for your input, Nick. Any input y'all have, put it in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed this. I showed it can be done, but really, do you want to do this? You know, if you're playing around camping and bushcrafting, this is fun to play with, but if you're actually surviving and you're miserable, do you want to do this? You know what I mean? I mean, it's so much easier to have a water carrier and a device for boiling. So, all All right, take it easy. Enjoy life. Get out and have fun while you still can. And we shall. See you in the next one.
See you later.
What? Did you cut it on or off?
On.
Oh.
Staring at a frog on that tree over there.
Water.
See the tree I'm directly pointing at?
The big one?
Yeah.
You see a frog on it?
Yeah, I saw it move during the last scene.
Oh, the little bitty one. I see it.
It's a frog. Completely blended in with the tree.